Before we get started today, I don't know about you, but I love exchanging gifts with my girlfriends at Christmas. Friends just get us. They know the things that we would really like, right? Those things that we would pick if we were shopping for ourselves. And what I would pick is a pair of sweater knit Sheila clog slippers from Isotoner. These slippers are so comfy. Anyone on your list would absolutely love them. In particular, this one, the Sheila clog, is this cozy knit slipper. It's made with super soft velour inside. It has this extra heel cushion, so it's really comfortable. And then it has this beautiful knit topper. I love that they have those indoor-outdoor soles that let you run to the mailbox or the bus stop without having to change into shoes. Very important at this time of year. So as an extra special holiday gift, my friends at Isotoner are giving our listeners 25% off any style of slipper at all for the next 2 weeks. This is perfect shopping season. Let's make it really easy to stock up on the holiday gift that everyone loves, slippers. Just head over to isotoner.com, use the code BRILLIANT25, get some for your friends, get some for yourself. Happy holidays.
I'm Sherilyn Skolnicki, and this is Brilliant Balance, the show for working women who are ready to shine. Each week, I bring you ideas, inspiration, and insight on balance, business, and getting it all done gracefully. You ready? Let's be brilliant.
This is episode 216 of the Brilliant Balance podcast. What stretch of road are you on? So today, my friends, I want to talk about road trips, my very favorite thing. I've been thinking about road trips lately because they always make me so happy. And while it's cold here and sometimes even snowy at this time of year, the promise of a road trip still always kind of excites me. And I'm always so optimistic when I start one. I've got my cute bags packed and I get to take my full-size toiletries. Does anyone else get excited about that? That, unlike when you're getting on an airplane, you have those teeny little bottles you're trying to jam into a plastic bag. I get to take full-sized product with me. And I have my snacks packed for the road and a playlist queued up and my sunglasses ready, full tank of gas. Road trips are just the best. And honestly, what I never seem to do is think about anything other than the ideal trip. When I'm envisioning the road trip, I'm always ready to get there faster than expected, no traffic or car trouble or rainstorms in the way. That's never making its way into the vision. Now, contrast this with my parents who kind of famously tell a story of being stuck in standstill traffic in a snowstorm. I grew up in Pennsylvania. They lived in Pennsylvania for years and years. And this snowstorm sort of caught everyone by surprise because it happened in April one year. I think it was in the 80s. And they were stranded for hours and hours and hours with thousands of other drivers in this kind of pop-up storm. And to this day, in cold weather, they never leave their home for a road trip without heavy blankets and coats and boots and flashlights, in the car, because they know they've lived through this experience in which road trips can be awesome or they can be a little more eventful, depending on how circumstances unfold. And honestly, the trips we take on the road of life can be the same. On the road of life, we really have to know what kind of trip are we on, or maybe more specifically, what stretch of road we're on. Because otherwise, we might mistakenly assume that we're going to have perfect conditions. And we might expect of ourselves that we're going to operate as though we are in perfect conditions. But as any experienced driver can tell you, that's not a great assumption, right? Because the driving conditions can be radically different in different stretches of road, and we need to be able to adjust accordingly. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use that lens to look at the road of life. What are a few different stretches of road that we might find ourselves on as we navigate the road of life, and what are some of the differences between them, right? Or among these various conditions that we could find ourselves in. So the first one, and the one that I think goes along with my vision of a great road trip, is the long straightaway. This is the predictable stretch of road. It's clear. We have a clear line of sight. We know where we're going, right? We know how we're going to get there. This is kind of the smooth sailing scenario. You picture yourself, you've got your sunglasses on and one hand on the wheel, and you're just staring down a sunny, straight road. And let's be honest, these are our favorite. We love these because they're sort of what we mean for life to feel like, right? There's a little bit of ease. There is a sense that we can let something sort of just happen. We're not on high alert. And we should definitely take advantage of these when they present themselves in life. And they do come for all of us. But the longer we're alive, the more rare those stretches of road seem. They sort of take their place in the midst of a number of other types of conditions that we might find ourselves navigating. Okay, so when you find that you are in a long straightaway, I think the message is savor it, enjoy it, like kind of kick back and relax and really soak in all the benefits of being in that stretch of road when things are sort of trending up in your life or they're very stable. The second set of conditions or the stretch of road you might find yourself in, I'll call the uphill climb, right? So picture you're in that same vehicle, you're trekking along, and now you see that there's kind of a steep hill. And when you are in an uphill climb, it's hard work, right? You're essentially burning a lot of gas. Like even if you have your foot down on the accelerator, it's not easy. There's this exertion involved in being in an uphill climb. And yet, often it feels worth it because in this, you can see the top of the hill and you feel sort of motivated to get there. Like there might be the sense that something really good is waiting for you. Something that's worth it is happening at the top of that proverbial hill. So when you're in an uphill climb, you want to be prepared that more energy, more effort is going to go into your forward motion, any forward momentum that you're picking up. But there is this sense that it's worth it, that this sort of view from the top is going to make this effort worthwhile, okay? So we know when we're in an uphill climb because we can feel the effort. We're tired, right? We have this sense of like maybe we've been at this a while. We're not sure how long we're going to have to stay in it always, but we're metering out our energy, trying to conserve some for the duration of the climb. And in this particular stretch of road, I am envisioning that you can see the top of the hill, that you have a way of gauging your energy, right? Maybe this is something like, you're in grad school or you're completing a certification or you're trying to get your kids through college or, right, there's some effort where maybe even in a shorter term basis, like you're finishing a big project at work, but you know the launch date. So there's this effortizing happening, but you have a finish line in sight. You know where this extra energy expenditure is going to stop. And, I think ideally, then you're back in a long straightaway again, right? So energy conservation is pretty important in the uphill climb because you know how far you're trying to get, and you can sort of modulate the effort that you're putting forward.
Do you ever find yourself saying, I just need a minute to breathe? While the whole idea of meditation can sound totally intimidating, I've found that stepping away from the chaos of life, even just for a few minutes, is incredibly restorative. So if you're short on time, but could use a few moments of peace right about now, listen to my 5-minute meditation for working moms. It'll help you clear your head and come back to your day feeling centered and refreshed. Head over to brilliant-balance.com/breathe. Press play and settle in for a few mini moments of peace right now. Now, contrast that with the third
stretch of road you might sometimes find yourself in. And I call this one the blind curve. Okay, the blind curve is picture yourself driving and you see a big giant curve, maybe 90 degrees or more, but you can't see what is around the curve. And these are scary, right? You know you can't keep going straight. You have to change something here. You're going to make a big curve, but you're not sure exactly where it leads. Now, this stretch of road takes a lot of faith. And what we tend to do here is move slowly and cautiously. We're sort of riding with one foot on the brake when we're in a blind curve because of the unknown, because we aren't sure exactly what we're steering into. So we don't want to go really fast and turns out disasters around that corner, right? We want to move slowly and cautiously just in case. And then as we continue to make the curve and whatever is ahead of us comes into sight, then we can adjust our energy expenditure accordingly, right? So blind curves are the unknown. There are elements of we know we can't keep going straight. Something is changing here. Maybe we got forced into the curve and maybe we took it on purpose, but we aren't exactly sure where it leads. And so these can feel unsettling. And again, they can cause us to slow down. So we can feel a little bit like we're moving in slow motion when we're in one of these stretches of road. Okay, so what's next, right? Well, the fourth stretch of road that we're sometimes in is the U-turn, right? The U-turn, where we know that what we have been doing is heading the wrong way. We become immediately clear that, this is moving us we took a wrong turn before, or the road that we're on is closed, or something is happening where we need to turn around and literally head back in the opposite direction. And this is the environment where we are both hands on the wheel, turning hard, right? Sort of backing away from where we've been. And U-turns can feel really empowered. They can feel exhilarating. They feel like we're taking control. I know I don't want to be over there, so I am going to go and do the opposite. That decision to say, I know that the way I am headed is not right. All the signals are there. I'm getting all the signs that I cannot keep going in this direction. So rather than just making a turn, I'm going to make a literal U-turn. I'm going to go back the way I came, and I am going to take some control, and I'm going to steer in the opposite direction. And there are times in life where we execute a complete U-turn, where on the road of life, we are saying, oh my gosh, anything but where I am going, right? I will go completely in the opposite direction to get away from this path that I have been on. So U-turns are short-lived. There's a sort of moment of decision, and we quickly are making that turn. And they are very empowering when we make them. And then another stretch of road that I think we would recognize ourselves in, I'll just call the traffic jam. So the pattern of the road could be anything, but there's a lot of friction. There are things in our way when we are in a traffic jam, right? Things that are beyond our control. So no matter how fast we want to be driving, right? No matter how great the conditions are, if there are a lot of things in our way, we can't seem to get there. So this is the environment when we know where we want to go. We can see the direction we're heading, but we can't seem to get there. We keep getting stuck, or we keep getting stalled. We have these little bits of progress, and they're punctuated by slowdowns or stops along the way. That's what I would call the traffic jam. So I bet as you're listening to this, you can think back to instances when you have been in each of these stretches of road, right? Think about times that you have been on long straightaways and how exhilarating they are to have the wind at your back and things on, going your way. Momentum is on your side. You can probably think of when were you in an uphill climb, where you knew where you wanted to go, but you were burning a lot of gas to get there, right? Foot down on that accelerator, a lot of hard work, but the sense that it would be worth it. You probably can sense when you're in that blind curve. A lot of unknown, a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty. I'm not sure exactly where this leads, so I'm going to take this day by day, moment by moment. I'm going to proceed with caution. Most of us have executed U-turns where we had to say, whoops, not this way. That was a mistake. Whatever I can now see that's ahead, I don't want to go there. So I'm going to turn around and go back the way I came, and I'm going to take back some control. And certainly we have been in traffic jams where, despite our intention to move in a certain direction, we keep getting stuck or stalled or slowed down by things that feel like they are outside of us, right? It's not our vehicle that wants to go more slowly. It's all these people or factors that are in our way. And traffic jams are frustrating because we feel like we can't get what we want or we can't get where we want to go because of external forces. So when I was thinking about these 5 stretches of road, and there are probably others we could come up with in this same metaphor, it was clear to me that they ask very different things of us. And if we behave as though we're in one when we're really in another, we can get ourselves into a lot of trouble, right? If we are hitting the accelerator the way we would in an uphill climb, but we're in a blind curve, that's going to be dangerous. If we have an expectation that we're going to be in a straightaway and we hit a traffic jam, we're going to be frustrated. So a lot of our frustration or our resentment can come from misdiagnosing or misnaming the stretch of road we're on, or by refusing to honor it. So what I want you to do today as you reflect on this episode is check in with yourself. I want you to see where you are right now. What stretch of road would you say you're in? And if one of these 5 doesn't make sense, add one. Add your own to really help describe the stretch of road that you feel like you're navigating, right? Maybe you feel like you have potholes everywhere and there's just bumps all along this road that you're on. Maybe you feel like you're cruising downhill, and you really have a lot of momentum and things are, exhilarating and easy. Think about what stretch of road are you on? And if you find that you're in one that is presenting some challenges for you, where you could use some help navigating it, just remember, we're a click away. You can use the link in the show notes. You can head over to brilliant-balance.com, schedule some time to talk about it, because it is really helpful when you use this kind of an idea to say, you know what, I actually am not where I thought I was. The stretch of road I'm navigating is one I've not done before. It's feeling particularly challenging and I could use someone to talk with. That is exactly why we're here. So that's all I have for you today, my friends. Till next time, let's be brilliant.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.